Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. So we're going to be looking at 4 home coffee setups. So I've been chatting to a few people over on Instagram and they've submitted their setups, and we're going to have a little look and a little talk through about what they have on their brew bar, what they enjoy brewing at home, and just a little look into the equipment and the gear. And yeah, it should be quite a fun little video to do, and hopefully if you guys like it we can make it into a little series, and I would love to see more of your submissions. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first up we have Tom. He is on Instagram as the Apprentice Home Barista. So as you can see from his setup, he loves espresso. So he's using the Sage Barista Express, and he's had that since July 2017. He's customized the steam one tip on it, so he's got the chunkier version, which he says makes the steaming of the milk very nice. And he's also using the Crema coffee steam lever, which looks really good. I can imagine that makes steaming the milk a lot nicer. For the portafilter, it is customized by Skate, Reclaim, Create. So it's got a skateboard handle, which I think is really awesome, and that looks really, really nice. And it's also customized for the naked bottomless portafilter. Okay, scales, and he quotes single best piece of equipment: a Kea Luna for espresso and a Kea Pro S for portafilter dosing and pour over. He uses the Fellow Atmos glass containers for keeping the beans fresh, and the glass allows for the labels to be present to identify each coffee. He single doses for espresso, and the beans are stored in the Craig Lynn Design Studio bean cellars, which I think look really, really cool. Each cellar has a gas release valve to ensure they can degas properly. That looks like a really nice way to store your beans. It looks very cool. So on to pour over. He starts off by saying that he wasn't really into pour over, and he was like, I don't know, maybe it's not for me, I'll stick with my espresso. But then lockdown came along, and as you can imagine, I think everyone's in the same boat. They're like, what can I do to try something new, keep myself entertained? So he bought the Fellow Stag EKG kettle, the temperature controlled one, and then he carried on his love for pour over by getting the Stag XF pour over with the glass carafe. He started off by using the grinder on his Barista Express, but it wouldn't go coarse enough for his pour overs, and he didn't want to mess with any of the settings, which I can completely understand. So he went for the Comandante hand grinder. Very nice choice. That looks like a lovely grinder. I'd like to try that one day. He did consider the Fellow Ode. However, he wanted something portable, so went for the Comandante. Would you believe he has 3 AeroPresses? One for work, one for home, and the AeroPress Go for traveling. That kind of makes sense. I can get behind that. That's cool. He says he's lucky to have a few specialty coffee shops near me who are helping with my pour over journey, and the help via Instagram is brilliant. Yeah, there's so many cool places that you can learn lots of new things, and that's what I love about this coffee community is everyone's super helpful and super keen to share ideas and recipes and recommendations. So I think it's clear to see from his setup, and as he says here, espresso is where my heart is, and he loves just how many drinks you can make. He has the Crema coffee dosing cup, Londinium WDT, Motta distribution tool, clockwork espresso push tamper, and Motta tamper. Very, very nice equipment. Okay, he tops it off by saying, there's so much more I could say and bore everyone. I love how there's always something new to learn, from RDT to pre-wetting dry pucks. How one day my milk texture will be perfect for latte art, and then suddenly it won't. Yeah, I think we've all been there. I lose myself and unwind when making coffee, and can't wait for when I can have friends and family back over to make them drinks and catch up. It's a really lovely setup. I love the little pin board that you've got with like your little espresso flat white latte and all your drinks on. I think that's a really nice little touch, and everything just looks laid out really nice, kept nice and clean. It's just a lovely setup for brewing at home. So thank you, Tom, for submitting your setup. Okay, so second up we have Rob. He is known as the Pirate Barista on Instagram. He has an espresso setup at home, which looks really, really nice. He's got the Sage Barista Express, which he got in December 2020. He uses some basic Tefal scales for weighing out his beans, and he has a distribution tool and a silicone tamper mat, which were both from Amazon. He uses the Sage steaming jug that came with his machine machine, but he does plan on getting a few more different milk jugs. He's got one of these really cool personalized barista towels, which I've seen a few about, and they look really, really awesome. I feel like I might need to get one at some point. They are from Mildred's Bar Towels on Etsy, and you can see he's got his little pirate logo on there. That's really, really cool. For his cups, he has got the 10-ounce Griffin mugs from Square Mile Coffee and some 14-ounce cappuccino cups from Utopia. He says the best part of his home setup is his little buddy who sits on the top of his coffee machine, who he calls Pirate Steve. His father-in-law bought this for him, and his name is Steve. That makes sense, and I'm gonna guess that that's where the little pirate logo and the name Pirate Barista came from, which I think is really, really cool. So he also says that he installed 2 wireless under-cupboard lights to help lighten up the dark spots where his coffee machine sits, and this allows him to see the milk steaming better with no shadows over the jug or anything. So that's really, really cool, and it's a great way to sort of make your setup look good as well by having nice lighting going on, and also, you know, for you to be able to make your coffee. That's a really good shout. So thank you very much for the submission, Rob, and on to the next one. Okay, so next up we have Josh. He is Josh Shirtcliffe on Instagram. He's got a really cool variety of brew methods. So he's got espresso, batch brew, filter, and immersion. So for his coffee machine, can we all guess what it is? Drum roll please. It's a Sage Barista Express. No surprise there, they are great machines for home brew. And he's using a portable mini pocket jewelry scale for weighing everything out. For his batch brew setup, he has the Wilfersvar Aroma, which is meant to be a very good filter grinder, Technivorm Mocha Master, and he's got a kitchen scale. For his filter coffee, he's also using the Wilfersvar grinder, the kitchen scale. He has a Chemex, and he's got a Hario V60 and a Hario pouring kettle. Very nice little filter setup there. For his immersion, he has the same grinder, so the Wilfersvar again. He's got different cupping bowls. He's got a Square Mile cupping spoon, very nice choice. Got an AeroPress, very, very good choice, and pistachio 8-cup La Cafetiere French press. So he's added a little note here, a note on the cheap scales. The mini portable scale I use works amazingly for quick espresso weights, and the kitchen scale I use is pretty accurate. When I studied a music tech degree, one big thing I took away was this: if you can make it sound good in cheap speakers, it'll sound amazing through expensive ones. I apply the same philosophy to coffee brewing. If you can make it taste great using cheaper equipment, it will taste brilliant through the more expensive gear. I want coffee to be accessible for anyone, and often the temptation is to have a perfect setup before starting. But I would say just start. Brewing coffee can be done super cheap and super well. Better gear comes with time, but coffee is for anyone. I absolutely 100% agree with that statement. It can seem like it's all about the gear sometimes, which it's absolutely not. Coffee is about enjoying what you have and brewing at home and going out and trying new things, and I do agree you can build up to getting better equipment through time, but if you can learn by brewing on, you know, things that are sort of budget, then you'll get the good gear and be pretty amazed at what you can achieve. So 100% get behind that. That is a very good attitude to have towards coffee brewing. Thank you very much, Josh, for submitting your setup. Last but not least, we have another Josh. He is on Instagram at Link Is Not The Princess, and he's got a nice, minimal, simple setup for his filter coffee brewing, and it's in a very nice location by his window. That looks like a nice place to brew coffee, nice and light and airy, get some natural light coming in. So he's got his Hario V60, he's got the glass carafe and his scales for brewing his filter coffee on. He's got separate scales and little container for weighing out his beans, I'm going to presume. And then he's got the Fellow Stag pour over kettle, the stovetop version. There's a lot of you recommending to me the Fellow Stag kettles. Might be something I have to look into. They look very, very nice. But yeah, a really nice, simple, straight to the point setup, and a lovely little brewing location as well. So thank you, Josh, for entering. Okay, so there you have it. There are the 4 setups that were sent in. Thank you very much, guys, for sending them in. It's been a super fun video to make. I've really enjoyed learning about how you've customized your setups and the little things, the little details that make it your own. And I would like to hear from you guys if you have enjoyed it. Has it been inspiring? If you would like to see more of these videos, please comment below and let me know, because I'd love, as I said, to make it into a little mini series showing what you guys have at home and talking about what you love about brewing coffee, which is very important. And maybe it's inspired you to go and create a little space somewhere in your home where you can brew some coffee. Just doesn't have to be huge, you know, whatever you have and whatever space you have, you could just go and make a little coffee corner to enjoy brewing some coffee. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and until next time, happy brewing.